How to stay motivated to keep going when you're not seeing results. Because the truth is, results take time. Good morning, happy Thursday. My name is Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in to this daily mindset and motivation. And I share on here daily motivation tips, tricks, mindset, goal setting to help you become the best version of yourself and live your dream life. So this can apply whether that is with business, whether starting your own thing, with something at work, whether it's personal, whether it's with your health, all the different areas of your life, they're all interconnected because ultimately what it comes down to is your self-image, your self-concept, your self-worth, and your mindset. So the way you see yourself, what you think you're worthy of, and your mindset of how you're going to go about doing that, how you show up, right? When it comes to results, especially in our world of overconsumption where you're seeing stuff on social media all the time and you get that instant gratification, you get that dopamine hit, like it's literally so accessible. Anytime you pick up your phone, you open your computer, you open a web browser, like it's constantly there and your brain's constantly getting hit with dopamine and the immediate, and in essence, immediate results, right? Like you click, something happens. You watch and you laugh or you cry. Like you have access to immediate results on your phone. And if you're in a cycle of overconsumption, like you're spending more time consuming than creating, that when you actually start to go from consumption to creation, and now you're on the creation side, it feels slow. It doesn't feel rewarding. It feels a lot of times boring. And it is in the boring work that we get those results because, as we talked about before, change does not take time. Change takes decisions, right? What takes time is results. So you decide to make a change, and then you have to continue deciding to make that change every single day. You continue in that decision. It is only over time that you actually start to see results. And the issue is if you start to lose motivation or doubts creep up or you're feeling like things aren't moving fast enough, then what we will do is we will either change the plan, stop taking action, take a different action, right? Which in essence, those three things are all forms of self-sabotage. When you start to take new actions, you try to overcomplicate it, you stop taking action entirely, right? Of course, we know, for example, let's break it down because that's pretty conceptual. When it comes to fitness, you've decided, I am a fit person. I exercise consistently. Now listen so carefully to that language. Not, I am going to make a change. I'm going to become. I'm going to go on, right? Those are all future tense. There's past, present, and future tense. And as you're speaking, your words matter because you change your language, you change your life. So you want to bring that change you want to make into the present tense. So I am a fit person. I am going to exercise consistently. I exercise consistently. You hear the difference? So any goals that you have, always, I want them stated in the present tense. Yes? When you're writing them out, like for example, if you journal every day, if you don't, would highly recommend. There's two things I do when I journal every day. The first is I will free flow and I'll just write what's on my mind. And a lot of times stuff that I didn't even realize was on my mind comes out. The second is I will write out my affirmations, my I am statements. So these are my goals, my big dreams in the form of present tense. So instead of saying, I will build a business that does X, I am building, or I have a business that does X. It's always in the present because that is conditioning your subconscious mind to feel like you are worthy, you are deserving, you already have that goal. That's what has to happen before you can have it. So going back to this idea of results take time. Let's say I exercise consistently. So you make that decision, right? Which is the change. Now you have to continue to show up and actually affirm that statement to be true. So you have to exercise consistently. Consistently doesn't mean perfect. Consistently means consistently. I think there's at least a TikTok on the topic of consistency, success, or consistency, excellence, and perfection, right? And so often we think that consistency equals perfection, but it doesn't. Perfection is 100%. Nobody gets 100%. We have to break this down because perfect isn't real. Consistent is like what, 70% of the time you're doing something, 80% of the time. Like what's that number for you? That would be a consistency number, say 80%. And okay, so what's an excellence number? Maybe excellence is 90%. So when we have this range, we create this mental scale. So say exercising, you want to exercise consistently. Your goal, your ideal is like 5 days a week. Say 4, because that's an even number, so it's easier to do math. 4 days a week. So consistency would be doing like 3 days a week every single week. Excellence would be some weeks doing 3, some weeks doing 4. Because now you're between that 75 and 100. Perfection is 4 days a week, every single week, all the time. Maybe a few weeks in a row, you're going to hit 4, right? But then there's a week where you take some time off, or it averages out. So we're doing it consistently. So we start to exercise consistently. If you exercise for a day, are you going to build muscle? Is your body going to physically change in any way? No. And so many of us are conditioned by diet culture that is the only reason that we should exercise, which is not true, because the mental, emotional, and physiological benefits of exercise go so beyond a physical change, which we know, which we're not going to get into diet culture. And this is why I literally have a whole fitness company about this, okay? If you don't know it, it's called Shine Fit. It's a women's fitness studio. Little coffee break. Okay. So, brain fart. Hold on. It's coming back. It's coming back. Someone actually left kind of like an interesting comment, and they're like, I have some feedback for you. Like, maybe stop looking at your notes every 2 seconds and like prepare what you're saying better. And I was just like giggling to myself because if you're actually watching carefully, I don't look down, I look up, because when I'm trying to recall information, my eyes go up into the side, and I don't actually have notes. I have a note of a topic and I free flow. Like there's no planned structure to these trainings. So usually when I pause, it's because I'm trying not to go, and if you listen back to any of my trainings, I actually have done a very good job at changing the way I talk when I'm presenting, so I don't have the ums, likes, uhs in between. It'll just be a silent pause, which is a skill that I recommend. Okay, we're getting off track here. We got 3 minutes left. I'm actually trying to get it under 10 minutes today, but somehow it always ends up being 10 minutes, which is good. So these results, they take time. And stay with me, because a lot of times we talk, I give you that like headline, like what are we learning about today? And then we go off a little bit, and I bring in these little stories, analogies, and then it starts to loop together. And I swear it's that last 2 minutes of the training where it's like, oh my God, okay, it makes sense. So you decide to start exercising consistently because of many reasons. But the thing is, it's so deeply ingrained, you can start to feel the difference of exercising consistently. Right? You can start to feel the energy. You can feel the confidence. You can feel that you're sleeping better, which is like, should be results enough, right? Like that's amazing. And if you continue doing that every single day, but we know consciously that if you exercise consistently for a long enough duration of time, and I'm not talking about days or weeks, I'm talking about months or years or decades, you exercise consistently for a long enough duration of time, of course, like you're going to build muscle. Of course, your body composition is going to change as you are getting physically stronger, as you're building muscle, building endurance. We know, like if you think of like pro athletes, like of course they're like very muscular or they're very like, they can run really fast because they've been training for so long. So we know consciously that if we exercise for a long amount of time, that will eventually happen to us too. But then we get caught in the results aren't happening fast enough. So what is a great plan for exercise, which would be like 3 days a week, 50 minutes each, right? 4 days a week, 40 minutes each. Something that's actually realistic and doable. We start to do that, and then the results they're taking time. So then we either stop or we change the plan. We're like, oh, it's not happening fast enough. Maybe I need to exercise more. No, because you don't get stronger when you're exercising. You get stronger when you're resting, when your muscles are recovering. It's not about It's about timing the game. How long are you in the game for? And this can apply to fitness. Same thing can apply to if you're starting a business, a content creation journey. It's the same thing. If you're like, I'm going to post go back to that example from yesterday, 3 TikToks a week, and you're doing that, and then you're not like seeing, quote unquote, seeing results that are coming fast enough. So then you either stop taking action or you change the plan, and then you try to do 3 TikToks a day. And then of course that's not sustainable. And you're burning yourself out, and you're not sticking to a plan where you know if you stuck to it for months and years, you would see results from that. So we have to know when things feel boring, when things feel consistent, that's not a sign of stagnation. That's a sign of progress. That's a sign that things are happening when you can do the same things consistently without needing the dopamine hit, without needing the crazy motivation every single day. Like, we shouldn't have to listen to a hype up video every single day to get ourselves to take action, because it should feel so natural and so easy and so just 1 degree more. It's that 1 degree incremental increase in temperature that you don't feel a change on a day-to-day basis. And just because you don't feel a change on a day-to-day basis doesn't mean results aren't happening. Okay, so I want you to trust in the knowledge that if you continue taking the consistent, boring action, that the results are going to come. And in that process, in the in-between, for the months and years that it takes for results to come, is where we need to have faith. That's where we need to have confidence in ourselves. It's where we need to have such a strong belief and conviction in what we are building, and such a strong self-concept of who we are and why we are worthy of having this, that we can continue showing up without all the doubts creeping up. We are way over time, but that just had to be said. There's your motivation for the day. I want you to take this energy shift and go take action on it. So write out, what are you going to get done today? What are your top 3 priorities for the day? Top 3, and you're going to tackle them 1, 2, 3, okay? Go take the consistent, boring action, and I'll see you here tomorrow.